We're going to start things off with this very quirky Lustball Jr. So here's our full body shot. It's kind of a greenish dark gold hue. And to play off of that, they gave you the black reflector knobs with the golden tops, black plastics on your P90 but with an intonatable wrap tail piece done up in gold. Then the pickguard's got the combination of both. They've just got this golden loop around the edge. I think that looks quite fantastic. Just needs some fancier inlay work, as it was left fairly traditional in that aspect. However, nice and fancy with our Grover tuner upgrade, but look closely, those are locking wheels. And the edge of the headstock's gold. And the back is all that just continued. But at first this was looking more like a satin finish, but looking on that neck, that is definitely gloss. And now we can read the title, Green Gold. I guess that makes a lot of sense. Although I am surprised that they did not put golden pole pieces on our P90. This one was a studio session in Everglade Blast. I bet there's a lot of guys out there saying this is the most repugnant thing I have ever seen. However, I dig it. It's the right kind of swampy green. It's got a little bit of brown gold over here, and the green, it's not too neon, it's not overly mossy, it just looks like something that Shrek would like. Yeah, this is the Shrek Lustball. Had I had saw this thing at launch, I probably would have considered picking it up. Because being a studio session, they actually have the exposed edge, so you can see that nice maple color before getting to the mahogany on the back. And it is a figured maple top, so you get to see a little bit of that coming through. Now, as far as the choice of an uncovered neck pickup and a covered bridge, I don't like that look. But then they threw golden metal knurled knobs over here, Lustball custom style gold everywhere else too, including on our tuners. And oh, wow. It's got the stinger on the back too. I was just expecting natural. Throw yourself a gator plate back here and you're gonna be rocking. But if you're more into a deeper green, we got the Verdant Sanctuary. But with a price tag of $3,400, they weren't messing around. From the bottom, this doesn't really look that different from a Slash Anaconda Burst. However, as you rise above the foliage, you can start to get into that kind of swamp gas green with a little bit of yellow mixed in between. This color in and of itself is kind of ugly, but blending it makes it a little bit more tasteful. Then we've got the black plastics to match all the other darkness, including our headstock, but that's a really nice streaky rosewood board we've got going on there. But ouch, that's such a premium. I was expecting maybe a little bit more something back here. Next, we've got the Regal Verde, $6,500, but remember, it's a 64 reissue, so that's custom shop territory. And at first glance, it's kind of a silvery-ish green, but on a slight darker side. Our Bigsby has the Vibramate spoiler system, so it's a lot easier to restring it. You've got the witch hat knobs with the golden numbers. And at first I was like, uh-oh, is there a crack? But no, that's just the reflection of the Bigsby arm. Next, you might notice your uncovered pickups, but Trini Lopez inlay? I mean, the headstock kind of gives it away. But then flipping over to the back, yes, that looks nice. Dark silverish green with a very rustic looking natural mahogany neck. And a serial number of 1479. But if green's not your style, do you like Jazz-a-Maraz? It was $3,500, but yeah, I can see why that went. So we've got some sort of a red undercoat, but then we have a purple border. However, pay special attention right here. That doesn't appear to just be a border. It's more of a sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. So it might look like a purple burst sometimes, and other times it's just all purple. It's a pearlescent top coat. But to make things even crazier, look at those inlays. They're true mother of pearl, so that means this is likely a Lustball modern. So they've just amped it up with our notched speed knobs and gold hardware everywhere else. Whoa, not just having fun on the body either. It's got the matching headstock, wow. From the looks of things, it still has the black placard underneath it. They just sprayed over top of the existing stuff. So that's why your Lustball model silkscreen still has a little bit of golden popping through, but your mother of pearl logo, just magnificent in this lighting. These guys didn't even skimp on the back. It reminds me of the berries and cream Lustball, except for this time it's a Lustball modern, 100% confirmed now that we can see that heel cut. Then we even have a crazy one for the blue lovers out there, wide blue sparkle. It's been a while since I've had a week where almost everything I can be pretty pumped to talk about. Now this is a fairly basic blue sparkle, but it looks great with the black plastics, and once again, Lustball custom style covers their running theme this week. Then we've got our reflector knobs, reflecting on the black plastics chrome pickup covers. I'm thinking we might have a matching headstock. Kind of hard to tell. That might just be they used a blue silkscreen and decal, because I'm still primarily seeing black, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't just sprayed over top, and it's just very hard to see in this photo. However, you don't normally see this crackling effect, so I think that's just a special decal. No skimping on this one. Everywhere blue. Didn't paint the backplates though. However, I agree with that choice. Sometimes that's a little bit too crazy, even for the crazy guy. But that's some thick sparkles because they had to restamp our serial number. And they only do that when you really can't read the original number anymore. But next up, the red line. Even as a guy who doesn't really like red guitars, I can appreciate this one. I suppose you might be able to say because it's primarily orange. Pay close attention to your binding layer. It looks like they utilized 5-ply binding and then just gave a light red coloring in between the black layers. So now that you know to look for it, you can see it. Cool idea. I just don't think it adds too much. But the white pickup rings really contrasts against everything and pops the binding even more so. And I do appreciate the streakiness of the ebony right there. But I was about to say, did they continue the motif up top? And goodness gracious, did they ever? Okay, I'm sold here. They didn't. Absolutely fantastic job. I am very impressed. Like, we've seen them color the chandelier slightly differently before, but with that center coloring, that worked out really good. The only thing I would change is spray the eye in Gibson red as well, because that'd be the icing on the cake. We haven't even seen the back yet. However, from first glance, it seems pretty basic. If you're like, hey, why didn't they do the binding on the back? It's because it's only 3-ply, so not quite the same as the top. They don't have a center layer to paint. Another green one, this time called Chartreuse Sparkle. It's for our lefty friends out there. It's a lime green with some silver and slightly darker green sparkles in it, but hey, at least our Southpaw friends get a little bit of representation this week, and they omitted the pickguard. I feel like this is a guitar, despite the sparkliness, could still pull that off, but you could always add that if you wanted to. The green and the black looks nice for our headstock shot. But whoa, what is that? Is that bubbled lacquer around our Gibson logo? And the back is just more of the same all throughout. But now the EU Mod Collection has the Blue Robin SG standard. At first I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Nice shiny robin's egg. Then I got up close. Interesting choice to make this a satin finish. I suppose robin eggs aren't necessarily super shiny and they have a little bit of a texture to it, so I think that's what they were going for there. So maybe that would appeal to the right guy. And I was trying to see the full body shot. Looks like they forgot to upload it on this one, but it's a late 2024. It appears to just be blue all over. No additional surprises or little robin decals anywhere. We can follow that up with the Sienna Burst on a 59 reissue. So you'll have your long neck tenon, ABR1 bridge construction, just like any 59 you've ever seen before, this time just in a reddish burst hue, but with black plastics. Whether you like that or not, I'll let you decide. For me, I like the cream plastics on the historics. And oh, I wonder if that's why it was rejected. There's quite a sizable gap between the fretboard and the pickup ring. That happens sometimes. But on this one, it's very noticeable because that's the maple that caps off your truss rod. But in the grand scheme of things, do you really notice that from far away? Nah, but they completely blanked out the headstock, including your truss rod cover. Was not expecting that. It's a fade finish. So you've got this kind of chocolatey red-brown colorations going on. And it continues up until you get about halfway through the neck where it just transitions into this darker natural. And we can end it out with, oh, Inferno! I don't know about you, but I love it. It looks like it might have started life as one of those light bursts and they just refinished it because they have a similar phenomenon of a dark border with a really light color in the center. But for me, this one's all about that unique wood grain. You guys know me, I'm a sucker for that, and it just looks good. Like, it's not traditional. It's really kind of ugly in a roundabout way. But sometimes things are endearing in that nature, and I'm glad that they gave it a full-on gloss finish. That board just needs conditioned, and you're probably good to go. Yeah, I would review that. The back is a little bit boring, just straight up cherry. However, very nice touch on having the cream back plates. It complements your top swimmingly. Gibson USA Demo Shop. We didn't really see too much from them this week. They dumped a good handful of Les Paul standards, and that's about it. Of which, here's what I picked out. 60 standard unburst with some unique figuring to the top, but it's the back that was quite fascinating. It's got a bunch of V patterns, a little bit of a boat going through, but that's going to be a chatoyant thing that just moves. The standard 50s bourbon burst, a very nice custom shop-like top, although the back was nothing special. This one had a slightly plainer top, appealed to the plain top lovers. It's got a little bit of flame, but mainly grain. And then Heritage Cherry Sunburst. It had a whole bunch of mineral streakages and the whole crosshatch wood grain versus flame situation. The back looked like so. This Bourbon Burst had a nice light, airy feeling top is the best way to describe it. And some pretty decent figuring on the back of the body. This one was labeled as a custom shop top, dark cherry sunburst. I wouldn't call that a good top by any means, but I thought I'd share it because it's got a nice waviness to it and a yin-yang pattern situation going on. Here's that lemon burst I was talking about earlier. Light center, dark edge. And that is going to end the recap this week. You gotta let me know in the comments which was your favorite this week, because I think they just did a fantastic job. Or maybe you didn't like any of them. You can also tell me that. Doesn't matter to me. It's a judgment-free zone. I'll catch you tomorrow on the next one. Take care.